Yeah, so day one was quite an early start. Waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning, targeting a 3:30 to 4:30 departure from Johannesburg. All of the EVs fully charged, 100%, departing from the pantry in Rosebank and hitting the road for our first stop in Ventersburg, Bloemfontein, and no issues. The BYD is a very easy, comfortable car to drive, very soft in the suspension, drives like a sports car if you need it, and like a family-sized sedan as well. So no issues with the car. A bit of time spent on navigating all of the controls, particularly on the steering wheel, using the intelligent cruise control as we were hitting the highway, and then all of the other associated features with that, which is the sort of, I think, the adaptive driving features, the lane assist, the speed, the tracking functionalities it has, where it actually tracks the speed of cars in front of you and it allows you to convoy with cars, which is a really nice feature. And then of course the infotainment system, which is amazing, has everything you need, connects to your cell phone, so you can pass the time by listening to your favorite Spotify podcast or radio station, or playing music, etc. So yeah, so really good experience getting to know the car on day one. Had really no issues on the N1, charging in Ventersburg, then again charging in Bloemfontein, and then again getting to Colesberg. And I think this is where we started encountering some issues around the charging infrastructure, or as we call it, charge point anxiety. Of course, when you get to a charging point and you connect the vehicle to the charger, the software in the charger and the software in the vehicle needs to speak to each other. So often it's referred to as a handshake, where it needs to perform various tests, make sure that the connection is secured. Test, for example, the voltage required from the vehicle. And of course, sometimes that doesn't happen automatically, so you have to try a few times. Colesberg was interesting because there are 2 charging stations on either side of town, and we tried the second one first because the first one was occupied by the other cars. That one was not working, was offline. Even the AC charging port was not functioning properly, and we had to go back to the first charging station and then try to resolve the issues there with the service provider. And eventually, after 2.5 hours, we managed to get the charger to work, and we managed to get the BYD charged at least up to 80%. And then make our way to our final destination, which is Nebetsta. How do you pronounce? Yeah, where we spent the night, and then and that was essentially the end of day 2. However, it was a long day, waking up at 2 a.m. and then arriving at our final destination or guest house at around 9:30 in the evening. So it was a very long day, but a lot learned on that day, particularly around the charging infrastructure and the communication between the charging infrastructure and the car, which is important as well. Another key thing is that the voltage rating that the charger has is very important, and we found this out on day 1. The BYD has a 800 volt architecture. Most EVs in South Africa have a 400 volt architecture, and most charging stations have a maximum of around 500 volts that it can supply to an EV. And taking that in consideration, We had challenges with some charging stations where the BYD and the charging station would not shake hands because the BYD was requiring a higher voltage versus relative to what the charging station could provide, and that actually meant that you could not charge at that charging station using the fast charging or DC charging. However, you can use the AC charging, because AC charging, whether it's from a charging station or from your home using a normal 3-point plug, converts the AC current to DC current, and that really helps in terms of, or it makes it easier for you to utilize AC current to charging your EV. However, that is a lot slower. DC charging is a lot faster, and that's ideally what you want to have available on a long trip.